You trust in nursing homes to take care of your loved ones, but 2 News investigates found several in our area have received below average rankings.
Natalie Tendall is looking into nursing home negligence. Natalie?
I went through dozens of nursing home complaints and reports from unannounced inspections called surveys. Data from the past 4 years shows deficiencies or violations such as dirty facilities, wandering residents, even sexual abuse. Nursing homes are supposed to be a place of care, rehabilitation, and cleanliness, but some in the Miami Valley are not living up to that standard. And for those facilities,
it's not a place you want to be.
Nursing homes are under strict rules and regulations from the state and federal government. They're inspected every 9 to 15 months, rated, and sometimes even fined by the Centers for Medicaid and Medicare Services, or CMS.
Our role is to go in and say, okay, what happened here?
Bev Laubert is Ohio's long-term care ombudsman. She's an expert on nursing homes. She says those surveys can tell you if nursing homes follow the rules.
These are minimums. So if a nursing home isn't meeting the minimums, then it kind of calls into question how high do they go? You know, how high of quality do they provide?
CMS tries to answer that question for families. It even has a rating system in place. We started our investigation there by looking at all facilities marked below average. There are 18 of them in Montgomery and Greene counties. We reached out to all of the nursing homes that had a 1-star rating, the lowest you can get.
So 1-star home is a problem.
Only Astoria Health and Rehab Center in Germantown agreed to answer our questions on camera. Its 2013 survey had 13 deficiencies or violations on it. The biggest issue listed on one of their surveys, nobody noticed when a resident walked out of their building.
The alarm system at that time activated. It just wasn't sufficient.
That's a serious mistake in the nursing home world. But when we first looked at it, you had one of the lowest ratings you can get. Why was that?
Well, it's not just one answer. It's a very complicated answer, but if I had to sum it up, it's just not paying attention to the important things.
Administrator Chris Jones started at Astoria the day that survey was taken. From that day forward, he's been working to turn things around, but he says it's not easy.
The consequences of a poor survey over the long term are they just don't stop. It's things you don't expect and suddenly, oh my gosh. And it's cost this facility, I don't think I'm exaggerating, I think we're in the millions of dollars in terms of lost revenue.
Jones says they've put in a new security system, hired new staff, and have a better approach to caring for their residents.
Can families trust this facility?
Yes, absolutely. I could say that. I would have my own loved ones here.
Since our investigation started, Astoria has improved its rating with CMS. It now has 2 stars after inspectors found no deficiencies on its last survey. Laubert says if a facility is not following the rules, it not only gets a bad star rating, it could face a hefty fine from CMS. That usually happens if a resident was harmed or could have been. The most serious incidents revolve around death or sexual abuse.
Does that happen very often?
Well, it shouldn't happen at all, but it does. And then you'll need to look at, was it a resident abusing another resident? Was it a staff member abusing a resident?
Abuse violations are rare, but after going through the data, 2 News Investigates found 2 in our area. When we checked the state's online records, we found Friends Extended Care Center in Yellow Springs had a violation involving sexual abuse in 2011. Records say a nurse's aide was found on top of a resident while she was nude. The facility was fined. The executive director there tells me that employee was prosecuted and is still in prison. He says they have since increased their security and the amount of education for employees. This nursing home now has a 5-star rating. Bethany Village in Centerville also had a report of sexual abuse in 2011. Records say the facility failed to protect a resident from abuse after that resident claimed a visitor touched them inappropriately. The facility banned that visitor and was fined. A Bethany Village spokesperson tells me it was an isolated incident, and they have since evaluated and updated policies. They, too, currently have a 5-star rating. While serious, Laubert says abuse is not the most common violation happening in nursing homes.
A very good nursing home could have something horrible happen. A resident could fall and die. But it could otherwise be a good home and not have any of those other deficiencies. But these continuous lower level problems that just never get fixed, that indicates to me a culture of kind of poor quality.
We found concerns of poor quality at Four Seasons of Dayton Nursing and Rehabilitation. It currently has a 2-star rating. It's the only nursing home in our area that had a special notation on CMS's website saying the facility has a history of persistent poor quality of care. Their last survey, last September, had violations of medication errors, cleanliness problems, and patient care issues. They also had complaints of not getting a resident the care they needed after a head injury and not having all their staff background checked. I called Four Seasons to ask them about the problems. The administrator informed me they're starting over under new leadership and a new name, Embassy Garden Court. She says all the problems have been fixed. Before you put your loved one in a nursing home, do your homework. Visit the facility and ask questions.
You see stuff, you just intuitively pick up stuff. It just tells you, look at the residents, look at how their hair's combed, look whether they're shaved. Are they out of their rooms? Just simple little things.
Now, we've made it easy for you to check out all the nursing homes in Montgomery and Greene counties. We've created a searchable map that will tell you the nursing home's star rating and if it's had any fines or complaints. We've also posted a list of questions you can take with you during your visit to a facility. You can find all of that on our website at WDTN.com. Just look for this story under the Investigations tab. Natalie Tendall, 2 News, investigates.
And if you have an issue you would like us to look into, send us an email at 2newsinvestigates@WDTN.com.